How long have you been playing music?
Oh man, I think I was in like grade 3 when my parents put me in piano.
Yeah,
Yeah,
straight up. That's
yeah,
where it all starts. For
yeah.
real. Like
I wish I stuck with it. I wish I stuck with
with piano?
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
And what'd you get out? Because they were like, hey, you want to learn drums?
No, my parents were super against me playing drums.
No way.
At first, yeah.
Crazy.
But I really didn't enjoy piano, and my neighbor started playing guitar, and he just learned how to play Master of Puppets on guitar, and I was like, oh man, you
The
should.
song to play with the
Yeah.
with your buddies.
And then he was like, man, I really need a drummer. So then my neighbor, we just started jamming.
He had drums?
Nah.
You managed to weasel your way in to get some.
Yeah.
Man,
Totally.
I remember my buddy.
I took lessons for a month, and then I got a drum kit.
Yeah, you're like, Mom, I'll do the lessons. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Man, I remember.
No, it was actually my dad. My mom didn't want me doing drums at all. She was like, he's got to do piano, blah, blah, blah. And then my dad came into my lesson one time, and he just, like, told the piano teacher, like, listen, he doesn't like this. Like,
Yeah, we're going to try something else.
Try something else.
Yeah, that's fair, though. Well, that's how they got me. They were like, hey, so my dad played drums and my grandfather. So, like, I remember growing up, like, around, like, drum stool, like, learning to walk and shit. So I was like, but I grew up with my grandparents, so I didn't. So that was, like, separate times in my life. So I was, like, in grade, like, 4 or 5, and then I met my buddy Pinkson, who I do believe you met before.
Yeah.
And he plays drums as well.
Cool.
And I was, like, met another kid who had a drum set, and I was like, hey, guys, drums are dope. Like,
Yeah.
I want to get some drums like
Yeah.
Jordan has. And they were like, okay, will you play in church? And I was like, yes. Never played in church. Jordan played in church, but I was like, I'd go play like in the band. I'd go play like with the
Church guys
bass
know
drum.
gear, man. Do they ever?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I kind of wish Ben was here for this.
When I'm trying to figure out what I want to change about our live setup, I literally watch all the church tutorials on YouTube.
Straight up, shout out all the dudes in the church learning gear.
Yeah.
Honestly, for the good of God. I'm not even kidding.
There's
That
like
sounds
there's
funny, but
some companies that are like strictly like marketing towards like worship bands, and I'll go buy their stuff because it's
Absolutely.
like it's so good,
Worship
especially when
bands
you're
are-
running tracks because
it's integrated. It's meant for like huge groups. Like like 3 acoustic guitars,
Well, I run
6
it-
vocals. Like
I run Ableton Live, and I don't use Ableton at all. Like in the studio, I use Logic,
Right.
in FL, and Ableton's like so foreign to me compared to those two.
Really?
Yeah, I just find it super
But you
confusing.
used to use Ableton Live?
I use it for live.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love the idea. I'm just like about using it for both. Like to me, it's like just such a good tool. Like it's such a good audio tool. If I need to go either way, it's
Well,
like
so low CPU for live.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Where Logic's a little bit
yeah.
more aggressive.
I was debating going to Logic. Corey was kind of telling me has been dabbling in both over the last few years. Like,
Ableton?
seems-
I know that he was thinking about moving to Ableton at one
Well,
point.
no, but I do believe like this time last year he's using Logic, correct?
Logic. He was Logic and Pro Tools for
That's
a long
what I mean,
time,
like,
and now
jumping
he's
back and
just
forth.
Logic.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll still work in Pro Tools, but most of the time he's just in Logic.
That's everyone's thing now. They're just like trying to like just figure out where they want to work. Like,
Well, he's doing a little less. I wouldn't say he's doing less mixing than he was before, but it was like when he was doing a lot of mix engineer stuff, he was in Pro Tools for
I was
sure.
gonna say it just lends itself.
But now he's
to-
mostly producing.
I feel like that's how it goes though. There's like it's maybe the thing people don't talk about enough. I don't know. Don't quote me, but like I think it's one of those things where it's like if you want to perform and do a few of these things, it's like maybe go to Ableton. But if you're like more so of a mix engineer type,
For
maybe you want
performing,
Pro
it's great.
Tools. Yeah, like and then if you're just kind of producing / trying to mix and figure out where you want to live, maybe Ableton or Logic for that reason. Logic's great to mix in, but almost every like hardcore mixing cat is like Pro Tools.
Yeah.
Producer types are more lean towards Logic. It seems like you know what I'm getting at.
I feel like a lot of
I can't leave out
a lot of
FL, but,
producers
you know.
that have been around for a while are Pro Tools though.
Yeah,
I've
for
noticed.
real.
Like
That's all there was though, unless you're using like Cool Edit Pro or like
and I find a lot of like guitar players are always in Pro Tools. I find.
yes, yeah. I
Like
find
Dylan from Port Cities produces in Pro
Right.
Tools.
I've been hearing a lot of cats now, especially cats who play guitar and in the heavier space. They're talking about Reaper.
Yeah.
I haven't used it myself, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
I've never dabbled, but I watched Toolman produce a track a while ago
Okay.
from Tribe Called Red, and
Yeah.
he was in. No, it wasn't Reaper. Is it Reason?
There's Reason.
Okay, no, he's in Reason. I'm pretty sure.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Making music in Reason to me interests me the same way with people who make it only in MCP, MPC, sorry,
MPCs, yeah.
or in Machine. Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
yo, I know it can all be done in there, but just when you're inside there, I'm like, that's an interesting space to live in. No, there's also Presonus. I think has Studio One out.
Yep.
I know Ben was dabbling in that for a little bit. I like the looks of that.
The new Cubase looks good.
Yep.
Too. Yeah.
And fuck, what's the
I
one?
kind of miss FL. Like I still use it
Yeah, 'cause you used to
occasionally.
use FL, right?
Yeah, but now I'm like all Logic, and I went to go back to FL because one of the producers on our album, his name's Elias, and he produced or co-produced Life Without Fantasies and Hit Like This,
Right.
and he does everything in FL. And so he's from Denmark, but he was in Halifax for a couple weeks.
To stem everything out, I guess.
But yeah, so he's completely in FL, and I was just watching him. I was like, man, I got to open up my FL. It's been so long. I
Yeah.
opened it up, and I was like, this is so great. And then after a few minutes, I'm like, oh, there's so much stuff I'm missing about Logic, though, right now.
Yeah.
So it's
You
like,
get used to one workflow, and then you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna live here. You get to the point where you're like,
FL's so fast. That's
Yeah.
what's great about it. It's like you can just throw things in, and it's like,
go.
Go.
It's intuitive in that way. I've never got to use
Well,
it
like-
like that to be able to say it, but that's what
a lot of people hate this about FL, but nothing goes into the mixer channel until you like root it there.
That's what burns me out.
And then also all the tracks, they're all separate. It doesn't matter. Like you could throw a kick on the same track that you have like a synth,
Yeah.
but you could route it to the mixer differently.
Yeah.
Like it literally
It has the options there.
it's
which
like a
is-
canvas.
Yeah,
It's not like
it's powerful, but it's
with
just
like Logic and Ableton, everything is like so streamlined, like lanes and stuff like that.
Yep.
Where FL, it's like a canvas. You can do whatever you want on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
it's avant-garde.
But then it can get like so messy
Right.
because if you like once you start doing automation,
Yeah.
it's like the automation isn't linked to the channel that you're actually doing it on,
Yes.
and it's literally just there as like a MIDI thing, and it's like it gets
Absolutely.
confusing.
Well, I have two students where I teach one how to DJ and one like basic production and just
Yeah.
like kind of keeping their shit together and stuff and
Yeah.
just staying organized. God love him, man, but he's in Ableton now, but his FL,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's get your project just organized. Like, let's just start
Yeah.
there, So it's like easier to work on. And then that's
my
when
stuff's a mess when I'm
well, this
producing.
is when I discovered, and it's fine if you're doing it in by yourself and it's all in your head and you're gonna
Yeah.
get it from start to finish. But as soon as you like let anyone else into your brain, there you gotta,
Yeah.
then you need some form of like
Totally.
something. And I was like looking at it, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna force you to organize it if it works for you. I was like, but it's hard for me to teach you this way because it's like,
Well, like-
it's literally like, you know what I'm saying? You can route it 1,000 different ways, and I don't even know if he was really like into hardcore routings other than just doing it. And then the
yeah.
next thing you know, it's like lane one in arrange view is actually track 17 and for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh. So for me, I was just like, FL, dope, but I just gotta,
Yeah.
their organization kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, Corey's super organized when he produces. He's like,
Would he ever use FL?
yeah. I mean, back in the day, he would like if we were working on something together, he would come in FL and be like, "Why is the same thing you just said? Why is this in track 17, but it's mixer channel 5?" Or
Yeah,
like
and
something
it's
like
just
that.
like you spend 5 minutes to figure that out.
Yeah,
It's like,
in the new one they changed it though, so
No way.
you can actually have it set so it automatically based on. Yeah,
fuck yeah, FL
they added
coming
comping.
through.
They added comping. They added
Cool.
like a lot of live stuff too.
Sick. Good
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, FL coming through. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about though. That's the only reason I couldn't get it behind it. I was like, I want to have a better take on it. I'd probably use FL over Reason if I was to start. No hate to FL once again, but if I was like I have a copy of Reason and they do have some cool sounds in there, I must say. But I'd rather use Reason as a sound bank.
Oh, you-
I'd rather use Machine as like a basic idea sketch pad, but mostly for the sounds.
I mean, half of 2U, our first album was done in FL because
Really?
me and Frank were both in FL.
I remember when I was in Halifax in the studio with you, it was me, Nick, and came for a visit that time.
Yeah.
You were using FL then.
Yeah.
That was what, fucking 5 years ago now.
Really? This was 5 years ago?
Yeah, man, that burns me out.
That's crazy.
The first time we were there, the last time we were there was probably about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
But
because Neon would have turned 6 this weekend.
we were no way.
Yeah, it would have been this weekend. It was because our first show was Natal Day 2013.
Crazy.